will start presenting. Okay. So as I was telling you about the dose, each type of different type of coagulants are working in a different range of pH. So the effective use of coagulant until now is being observed for the coagulant as alum. It works in the range of 6 to 8.5. Simultaneously, you please copy this. So the first one is the name of coagulant, then amount of dose being applied in a milligram per liter, then BOD removal in a percentage, then suspended solids removal in a percentage, and in what range of pH that that particular coagulant will work or will function effectively. Okay, so the first one is the alum. The chemical formula for the alum is Al2SO4 18H2O, and its a range of dose can be 40 to 90 milligram per liter. Okay, then it will help to remove almost 60% of BOD present into that sewage and 80% of suspended solids present into that sewage. The very important and positive point with respect to alum is that it works in the range of 6 to 8.5. That is the common range of sewage or any kind of water usually. But if that particular coagulant is not working effectively in that range, we need to change the pH of that particular sewage or the water which we want to treat. So that issue doesn't come with the alum, and that's why alum is very commonly used in a sewage as well as water treatment plant. Okay, then the second one is the ferrous sulfate, or it is also called as the chlorinated copperas. FeSO4 7H2O is the chemical formula for the ferrous sulfate, and the dose can be applied in the range of 35 to 80 milligram per liter. It helps to remove the BOD 70 to 80% and 80 to 90% suspended solids present into sewage. Now here you can see it can work effectively in the range of pH 5.5 to 7 and 9 to 9.5. Means the normal range of pH is usually 6 to 8.5. But for that purpose, we need to change the pH if it is not existing in the wastewater or the water. Okay, so that such issues are there with the different types of coagulant. Okay, then the ferric chloride. The next one is the ferric chloride. FeCl3 is the chemical formula for the same. Then the dose need to be applied little less as compared to all the both above we have discussed, and that is in the range of 25 to 35 milligram per liter. And it removes BOD effectively rather than more than 80% or up to 90% BOD can be removed with the help of ferric chloride, and 90 to 95% suspended solids, and it can also be work effectively in the range of pH 5.5 to 7. So that's why this is also one of the very commonly used ferric chloride as a coagulant. But the only issue with respect to this, it is not being available easily and little costly as compared to the alum. So that's why everybody prefers to go with the alum. Okay. Now the last one, ferric sulfate. Ferric sulfate, FeSO4, can be used with 35 to 45 milligram per liter, and it will remove 60% of BOD and 80% of suspended solids, and it can work effectively very stipulated range of pH, and that's why it is not being accepted universally, and that range is nothing but 8 to 8.5 pH. It is quite difficult to maintain the pH in that range. Some extent with respect to ferrous sulfate FeSO4 7H2O, that is chlorinated copperas, up to some extent we agree. Why we agree? Some of the times, many of the times rather, we can say the waste which is coming from the sewage, waste which is coming from the common domestic area is usually acidic in form. Okay, and for many of the times we need to provide it and convert it into alkaline. So that time also again it may convert into 9 to 9.5% pH. Okay, so up to some extent okay with ferrous sulfate. Otherwise, alum and ferric chloride are the best options, and that too finally we can proceed with the alum as it is easily available, cost is less, and effectively running in the vast range of pH. Okay, that is the reason why we are accepting alum as a coagulant universally. Okay, so this chemical precipitation part is over here. Now we'll go to the next point. Shall I? If you have finished this, I will go to the next point. I'm waiting. I have opened the chat box. If not completed, you can take 2 minutes. I will allow you to do. Have you finished? Friends, keep on talking. बोलो भाई बोलो, कोई तो बोलो.
झालं मॅम.
Are they sleeping? Hello, good morning. Please wake up. Okay, Dhaval has given me a signal that has been completed. So shall I proceed? Okay, let me check the participants' name. Why they are just before the 40 were present and now 34. Okay, roll number 50 has not connected with the audio system, only showing the video, means he is not listening to me. Then Sushil, Dhaval, Kedar, Pritish, Mahesh, Ganesh, Gaurav, Janmanjay, Nandita, Survase, Shraddha, Prerna, Vaishnavi, Sheetal, Nazneen, then Snehal, Shraddha Chavan, Pooja Swami, Kavanjali, then Shraddha, Nisha, Tejashri, Bhosle, Deshmukh, Dhanashri, Sheetal, Aditya, Tanaya, Snehal, Megha, Komal Ronge, Swapnil, Harshat, Madhuri. Okay, these are the present students. I remember. Okay. Roll number 50, roll number 22, roll number 32, not connected with the audio system. Okay, we'll continue. Next point, very interesting point I'm going to explain you now. Let me drop message in the box. Okay, what is that interesting point? Is the activated sludge process. We can say it is a ASP. Usually use that short form as ASP. What is the activated sludge process? Now we'll see. activated sludge process, usually this kind of figure can be drawn. It is a raw water, air as aeration tank, then clarifier, or we can say settler, then treated water is being removed, sludge is being removed. Don't draw this sketch. I will ask you another sketch to draw. Then the recycled sludge, recycled from the clarifier to before the primary clarifier. Okay. Now suspended growth, that activated sludge process is also called as the suspended growth process. There are two types of growth processes of microorganism, or we can say bacteria. Was there making noise? Hello, Professor Yese Gosari. See here, there are two types of growth processes. One is the suspended growth process, and another one is the attached growth process. Suspended growth process, in the sense, it can be remain in a suspension form. It can be remain in a suspension form, and they can grow in a suspension form itself. Once they get settled down, they becomes a deactivate. But up until the time they are in a suspension form, they are active. And another growth process is the attached growth process. For attached growth process, they need some type of supporting media, or we can media on which they can grow. They need to have some support on that they will survive. That is known as the suspended growth, attached growth process. Attached growth process we will observe in a trickling filter, and suspended growth process we will observe here in the say another type, that is activated sludge process. Is it? So this activated sludge process I will start explaining. Here you can see influent from primary clarifier. Okay. Now here you can see influent is coming from the primary clarifier. Is it? Or preliminary treatment. We have studied the complete wastewater treatment plant. So after the screening, the wastewater will go to the grit chamber. From grit chamber, it will go to the chemical precipitation, or directly it will come to the primary clarifier. What will happen in a primary clarifier? Whatever the settleable particles by the gravity will settle down at the bottom. And that once it is getting settled down, it can be identified as a sludge. And from that, you can remove that sludge from the bottom side. Is it? And the supernatant liquid, which is free from the sedimented particles, will be forwarded towards the next treatment process. And the next treatment unit operation will be the aeration tank. What we do in an aeration tank you have studied in a water supply engineering also, and now you are studying in a wastewater engineering. In a water supply, you have studied the different types of aerations. There was only the objective is to increase the dissolved oxygen level of water. Now here also we are increasing the dissolved oxygen level of water. There are the different types of aerators can be used, and especially surface aerator can be used in a wastewater. In a water supply engineering, we are using the cascade aerator. Is it? Or we can use the sprinkle aerator. We can use the apron tray aerator in a water supply. But here in a wastewater engineering, preferably we can go with the surface aerator. Surface aerator in the sense, this tank will be full with the water which we want to treat, and aerator can be arranged here, and it will be rotate with a very high 1000 RPM. It can be keep on rotating. Part of the aerator, the blades are there arranged. I will on the video to make you understand with the help of here. You can see aerator can be submerged into the water. So 50% part will be deep into the water, and 50% part will be the above the water. So when it is rotating with 1000 RPM, at that time atmospheric oxygen will mix into the water. Is it? Atmospheric air, it will mix into the wastewater, and while mixing, at that time it will dissolve the oxygen into wastewater, and at the same time whatever the odorable gases present into that particular tank will start emitting. Meanwhile, what happened? the dissolved oxygen level of this tank is going to be increased, and odorable gases from the wastewater are starting emitting out. Okay, now what is the use of dissolved oxygen here? Now the dissolved oxygen we are supposed to provide here to for the growth of microorganism, for the growth of microorganism. Now you may be thinking, why to allow to have the growth of microorganism or the bacteria? These are always the enemy. Then why should provide the air to them? Why should provide the oxygen? Microorganism can survive with the help of, they need energy in the form of organic waste impurities, organic waste to which we are calling as an impurity in a wastewater treatment plant. Is it? So they need energy in the form of organic impurities, okay, organic material. But while consuming, for consumption of that organic material, they need some more energy to break down that material with a faster rate, and that energy is nothing but the dissolved oxygen. These are the aerobic microorganisms which are working effectively in presence of oxygen, getting in presence of oxygen. You remember that the microorganisms which are working in an activated process are the aerobic microorganisms. Aerobic in the sense, here you can see the spelling, aerobic in the sense AEROBIC. Aerobic in the sense, in presence of oxygen, they can work effectively. Okay. Now, these microorganisms will will consume the oxygen with the help of aerators, and once they are consuming the oxygen, they will be easily breaking down the organic impurities present into sewage. Means what happens? That entire organic impurities they are consuming. Is it? They are consuming, and that organic impurities are in the stomach of microorganism. This process will continue for the hours. Each activated sludge process will having the separate different type of design period. Usually the design period of aeration is in the range of 3 hours to 6 hours, and for the degradation process it consumes almost 12 hours to 24 hours. Okay, so it will differ from type to type of aeration tank. Now this much time, during that time, so maximum amount of organic impurities present into sewage will be consumed by the microorganism, and once it is being consumed by the microorganisms becomes a heavier one, and after that particular design period we can allow to send that sewage towards the secondary clarifier. In a secondary clarifier we are allowing to settle them at the bottom. Here a clarification process. What happens in a clarification process? Clarifier are provided to settle down or to separate out the solid and liquid part. Okay, because we are here reducing the velocity of flow and making them to settle down, settleable particles. So whatever is not possible to remove here, which are in a dissolved form, which are in a organic impurity form, that has been consumed by the microorganism. And how they have consumed? Because we have provided them oxygen as an energy source, they have consumed it. Now it is in a stomach of the microorganism, and that can be transferred. That entire waste along with solid and liquid will be sent towards the secondary clarifier. Here we are providing them the sedimentation process. So the part, whatever the sludge has been consumed by the microorganism will be settled down in the at the bottom of this clarifier, is it? And the supernatant liquid, which will be free from the any kind of organic impurities, will be sent towards the tertiary treatment process, or directly we can provide the disinfection simply, and we can send it towards the process of we can say either on the disposal on the land, or on the either we can dispose it on the land or in a nearby water body, is it? So but now this sludge also we have to remove from this tank. Okay, now this sludge are the similar type of sludge. We can provide the sludge treatment to these both the type of sludge as a similar treatment process. Okay, so I told you that sludge treatment process we are going to study in a chapter number 3. About the collection and conveyance of sewage, we have studied in chapter number 1. And now in this chapter, we are going to study how to treat the sewage. Okay, by using the different unit operations and unit processes. Now here you can see that why we are calling, that should be the question, why we are calling this as a activated sludge process. This is a, in simply, I told you simply, there is a treatment process influent from preliminary treatment, clarification in a primary clarifier, where then aeration in a aeration tank, then secondary clarifier. In aeration, we have added dissolved oxygen level, removed the odorable gases. Then microorganism has degraded the organic waste impurities present into sewage. Okay. Now, and that entire part along with the degraded part and non-degradable part and the microorganism, entire part we have forwarded it into secondary clarifier. And in a secondary clarifier, we can make them to settle down at the bottom, and the remaining part will move forward. This sludge, this settled part will be removed from the bottom, but we are not removing the entire sludge. Part of sludge we are returning back to the aeration tank. Here you can see return activated sludge. Is it? So part of sludge we are returning back to the primary clarifier or towards the aeration tank. Why we are returning? Because when this degradation process performs in an aeration tank and the waste is moving towards the secondary clarifier, after the complete design period, whatever we have provided, these microorganisms are very active. These are become big one and they are active to degrade one more material. But unfortunately, this is not available. Then what they will do? They will start killing to each other, and this process continues. Meanwhile, bottom line, what you can note down, at this stage, when the entire organic impurities are being finished by them, the microorganisms are very active to decompose the further material. And that's why this active part of the microorganism, we are recycling here. Instead of waiting to get new microorganisms and decompose the impurities, we are recirculating the some part of active material back to the aeration tank. And because of that, the process of degradation increases. Rate of process of degradation of organic impurity increases. So because we are recirculating part of active sludge material before the aeration tank, we can say this is a activated sludge process, or simply we can say it is a ASP, and it is a suspended growth process. Okay, I hope you understood. Now please draw this sketch and then I will explain the further part. Have you understood the process? It's a very interesting process. You should understand this concept properly. Then only we will be able to solve the problems. Mass balance equation type of problems we have to solve on this ASP. So you should understand the process first. Draw this sketch now. शुभम लेक्चर चालू आहे. हा शुभम लेक्चर चालू आहे. आम्ही अहो भरून टाका की फॉर्म भरायला त्याला काय अडचण यायचं कारण आहे का? हा Okay, guys, have you finished? Shall we move to the next point? Have you finished? Dhaval, when you have written, okay, thank you, Dhaval and Prerna. I think Dhaval's message is long back message. Okay. So here, whatever I have discussed until now, that I have noted down. So this will be one of the revision. आता बघा बोर्डवर शिकवत असतो पण त्यावेळेस काय होतं की मी सुरुवातीला एक्सप्लेन करते आणि मग परत डायग्राम काढते आणि डायग्राम काढत काढत परत एकदा एक्सप्लेन करते आणि डायग्राम काढत काढत एक्सप्लेन करायचं चालूच असतं आणि जेव्हा डायग्राम काढून संपते तेव्हा परत एकदा आपण एक्सप्लेन करतो त्यामुळे ते व्यवस्थित पेनिट्रेट होतं तर तसं व्हावं म्हणून मी पण इथं ट्राय करत असते की टेक्स्ट पण लिहून ठेवते की टायमिंग वाचून व्हावं तुमच्या बरोबर ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन केलेलं असताना सो the activated sludge process is a type of wastewater treatment process for treating sewage or industrial wastewater using aeration and a biological floc composed of bacteria and protozoa. Activated sludge process offers efficient removal of BOD, COD, and nutrients when designed professionally and operated properly. Okay, what for this has been designed for the removal of COD, BOD, and nutrients. The activated sludge process was developed in England in 1914 and was named because it involves the production of an activated mass of microorganisms capable of aerobically stabilizing the organic content of waste. Okay, before we go to the process variation, I request you to write down some part of ASP. Write down. Aeration units. Okay, write down. Aeration is most important unit operation. Aeration is most important unit operation in activated sludge process. In activated sludge process. This facility is designed to meet this facility is designed to meet the calculated oxygen demand. The calculated oxygen demand aeration unit serves, next line write down, aeration unit serves following functions. First one, oxygenation of mixed liquor. Oxygenation of mixed liquor. Oxygenation of mixed liquor. Then second one, flocculation of colloids. Flocculation of colloids in sewage effluent. In sewage effluent. Third, suspension of activated sludge. Suspension of activated sludge. Okay, next line write down about activated sludge process. ASP. Once again, you write down ASP. This is an aerobic treatment. This an aerobic treatment of wastewater point wise you can write down. Second point, this process is based on intimate contact between this process is based on the intimate contact between the sewage and biological active sludge. The sewage and biological active sludge. Okay, next point. The activated sludge is a sludge. The activated sludge is a sludge which is obtained by settling sewage in presence of abundant oxygen. In presence of abundant oxygen. It involves the production of activated mass. It involves the production of activated mass of microorganism capable to stabilize aerobically. Capable to stabilize the aerobically. मॅडम मी लेक्चर मध्ये
आता का?
हो म्हणजे बराच वेळ झाला मगाशीच पण
फोन करा मी 2-3 ला केला.
हो हो मगाशी एका मीटिंग मध्ये होते ना आता लेक्चर मध्ये मी करते 3-3:30 ला करते.
ठीक आहे. ओके.
Okay, this is about the activated sludge process. Now we'll see the some kinds of variations, process variations in a activated sludge process. Process variations in the sense what is going to be happen with the change in location of addition of material. Either it will be air or it will be sewage or it will be a recycled sludge. We can change that locations. Okay, simply what we saw here, simply the wastewater is coming at this portion. Is it air is being supplied here? Sorry. Simply wastewater is coming from this inlet end. Air will be supplied through the aerator. Then at decided locations, it may be here. Okay. And then this sludge, returned sludge will be recirculated before the aeration process. So this is the common treatment, common activated sludge process. Now we are going to see about what type of different locations we can select and how these are going to help us to increase the rate of process and to reduce the design period. Okay, so that is nothing but the process variations. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to remove it. Here you can see the process variations. the first process variation, you can see the step variation. In a step variation, a compressed air or whatever air we are going to apply, it will be added into the wastewater treatment into that aerator in a uniform way. You can see Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5. It is being added uniformly. सगळ्या ठिकाणी सारख्या प्रमाणात आपण एअर अप्लाय करणार आहे. त्याच्याऐवजी जर समजा अर्लियर जी ट्रॅडिशनल मेथड होती त्याच्यात काय करत होते की इथे एक एरिएटर बसवायचं